with a record of 11-4-1. And the Western Branch Bruins 11-2-3, and they are head coached by Ricky Bright, and of course Alan Lindsay is the coach at Kecoughtan, as he has been for a number of years. And of course what we have here is we have the runner-up district representative from the peninsula, Kecoughtan, having lost the regular season championship to Lafayette, but then they won the championship in the tournament by defeating Lafayette 1-0 in a game played just this last weekend. You see the officials will give you their names: Craig West, Antonio Ariza, and Bob Coonley. I get it right yet.
Coonley.
But at any rate, the Warriors, of course, having had an excellent season, 11-4-1, they have 3 wins in a row since that defeat during the regular season to the Lafayette Rams, and they have won 8 of their last 9. Bob, we have the pleasure of having a gentleman with us this afternoon to lend some expertise to our coverage.
Yes, and we appreciate Carl Greaves stopping by and helping us. Carl played soccer at Christopher Newport. Also coached some at Ferguson High School. Welcome to our broadcast booth.
Thank you, and I hope I can, lend some insight onto what's going to happen today.
I think you can. You're probably a whole lot smarter than Tim and I put together.
I don't know about the smarter part.
Well, especially when it comes to soccer, Tim.
Well, we do enjoy bringing you a variety of sports here on Channel 5. Soccer is a sport that is not watched as closely, obviously, as some of your, quote, major sports, but it truly is a sport that requires an awful lot of talent and skill, as I'm sure Carl would be the first person to agree with that. It's a sport that is very prominent worldwide, but hasn't really gotten all the recognition that we might expect it to have in the United States. There was a movement a few years ago to make it a more popular sport with the advent of some of the leagues, but it just never really has caught on. But let me ask you about yourself, Carl. Where did you play your high school ball?
I played high school ball in England. I came here about 10 years ago, and I played for Christopher Newport University for 4 years, and afterwards I coached at Ferguson High School for about 5 years.
Very good.
And now I generally keep an eye on what's going on in soccer around the area.
Do you see the level of play improving on the peninsula? Has it come a long ways, or is it pretty much the same as it was when you were playing at CNU and when you coached at Ferguson?
In the younger age brackets, the players are better, partially because the coaches are becoming better because they're former players who are turning around now and lending their hand, to help develop the younger players.
Right. I think really that's what the sport needs to gain more popularity in the United States, is to have more grassroots development of the soccer, I would assume.
Without a doubt. Previously, it was parents who would end up being volunteers to coach, and now, like I said before, the former players are turning around and they're doing the coaching. So that's helping a lot.
Well, you're getting coaches who are former players rather than a parent who just wants to help out and doesn't know that much about it. Well, we're started the game, Tim.
All right. It makes some of the fans who may not be as familiar with soccer as some of our viewers that they'll play 2 40-minute halves with a 15-minute intermission. And the play is pretty continuous. The clock runs basically all the time. The teams right now, the Warriors are in the white shorts with the solid green jerseys and the white numerals. Of course, Western Branch, the Bruins, in the blue and white.
Well, when we get a chance, Tim, let me run down the lineup for the Bruins. I'm sorry, for the Warriors. I got David Worthington. He's a sweeper. Mike Fullen is one of the forwards. Alan Dawkins is one of the backs. He's also one of the captains. Chris Baylock is a forward. Alan Warren is a midfield. Jamie Samuelson is midfield. Josh Buckley is a defensive back. Raphael Lester is a defensive back. Donnie Hawk is midfield. Matt Dyke is also midfield. And the goalkeeper is Andre Perry.
And I'll give you the Western Branch Bruins in just a moment. Right now, the Warriors with possession on the right side. A lead pass, centering pass, and it's broken up by the Bruins. Kecoughtan pressing the action right now. The Warriors with the first threat, a shot wide of the goal, and the keeper
Well, now
set up a
Kecoughtan
corner
will get a, explain the corner kick.
Okay, corner kick is a free kick given to Kecoughtan at the moment, and shot on goal, misses wide. A corner kick is a free kick given to...
What precipitated that? Because it went out of bounds?
Because it went out of bounds. Because it went out of bounds, and it was off of the defensive team.
Okay.
Now this time the Warriors did in fact kick it out of bounds, and it'll be a goalie kick, or at least a free kick.
Okay, this is a goal kick coming up.
For the Bruins of Western Branch, while we watch the action, I'll tell you who the starters are. Mike Mailman, number 10, and Jay Matula are the forwards. The left halfback is Chris Geary. The inside halfbacks are Kerry Sloan and Kyle Moore, and Daniel Duche is the right halfback. The stopper is Davey Walters. The fullbacks are Dennis Floyd.
And we just had a goal scored by the Western Branch Bruins. And pick up the number. It looked like it's number 10.
There's a foul on the
turns
play.
around. I tell you, he got small number on the front. If I get the big number, I'll let you know.
Okay, the goal was called back because of a foul on the play.
Okay, so there is no goal.
No
okay,
goal.
that was number 10, and that was...
That's Mike Mailman, who had scored, but as you said, the goal was not allowed because of a infraction. Let me just finish my lineups here. Neil Thomas and Dennis Floyd are the fullbacks. The sweeper is Tony Thomas, and the keeper is Troy Stewart. So the Warriors dodged a big bullet there. They had apparently allowed a goal. And this young keeper, Bob, you were giving me some of the statistics for the Western Branch keeper, Troy Stewart. Let's hear a little bit about this young man. Is very impressive.
He has said he has not been scored on in district play this year. Has had 10 shutouts, and it averages .6 goals a game, so that's not even a goal a game. And he is going to Hampton University to play football in the fall. So that's quite an accomplishment.
So the Warriors will do well to get any score on this young man. And of course, in this tournament, there will be no tie. There will be a deciding score one way or the other. So as that time, with the possibility of that type of thing occurring, we'll ask Carl to be our expert on how they break the tie. But that's still a long ways down the road. 35 minutes remaining in the first half. You're watching the Eastern Regional Group AAA quarterfinal action between the Kecoughtan Warriors, the Peninsula District runners-up and the tournament champions, and the Western Branch team, which is the Southeastern District champion and tournament winner. Earlier this afternoon, Lafayette won and will advance.
Explain a little bit how they're trying to attack here, if you would, Carl.
Well, Kecoughtan is trying to move the ball around with quick, short passes, and with the intention of getting it outside to the wings. Kecoughtan likes to possess the ball when they get the ball, knock it around, look for someone to break open, one of the two forwards going to the outside.
So their strategy is not just to get down and try to kick it in, but try to work it in and get a good shot.
Right. They're a team. They don't really have any outstanding individual on the team, but they work together very well as a team, and that way a couple of the players on the team can develop good stats because of the teamwork.
Okay.
Lafayette defeated Great Ridge in the first quarterfinal game that was played earlier this afternoon here at Darling. So they will advance to the semifinals. Left-footed kick from the keeper. The ball headed out by the Warriors, so it'll be a inbounds play on the far side of the field by the Bruins. No score here in the first half. this first half. The Warriors were in Western Branch territory. This is only about the second time that they have penetrated. And then a poor pass gives the ball back over to the Bruins.
Well, one of the strategies, and I'm sure you can catch this, but Kecoughtan seems to be constantly attacking, and eventually, if they're down at this end of the field, pretty soon you're going to get somebody out of position defensively or something happen. Is that kind of the strategy that Allen likes to use?
Basically, that's it. If he can control the ball in the midfield and get it to the players who can take a defender on and get a shot off, then that's what they want to do. When they're back on defense, they get a little bit nervous because they've had a problem with the goalkeeper during the season, and I think it kind of tends to affect their play when the ball's in their side of the field.
Okay. Well, I know they lost a good goalkeeper from last year. They had I can't remember what the young man's name was, but he was a pretty good goalkeeper they had.
They did have a good goalkeeper last year. This year, they've tried 3 different players at the position, and they're not really sure which one will do the job for them, and it, causes some nervousness when the ball is in their area.
Yeah, I can understand that. Now, what do we have here?
What we have here is a penalty kick. This is given to a player when there's an infraction in the 18-yard box.
There was a hand contact with the ball, one of the
That's correct. When you touch the ball with your hand on the field, you give up a free kick. If it happens in the box, then you give up a penalty kick, which is a direct kick on goal with only the keeper, in position to stop the ball.
So this should be rather exciting. This is, I guess you'd consider this to be an excellent opportunity for the Warriors to score, really, on a one-on-one.
Basically, it's a 95% opportunity for them to score.
Wow, 95%. So if the keeper stops he's done a good job.
Yes, he has. It's usually very difficult for the keeper. He doesn't know where the ball is going to go. He has to just guess and take a chance on that.
Much like a penalty shot in hockey.
And that's it.
An easy goal.
Wow. Well, now that was a big penalty. That hand penalty down there inside that 18-foot box you're talking about. That really puts the pressure on the Bruins now.
Also, it gives Kecoughtan a lot of confidence to get forward more now. And it takes a lot of pressure off of their defense, having to worry about conceding a goal.
Okay, there we can see the replay of that, Tim.
Here's your replay, and really the goalie with no chance at all. Into the right corner of the net. And Mike Fullen, a senior forward, who, by the way, we always like to recognize our scholar athletes.
Yes.
4.2 GPA for this young man. Member of the National Honor Society, so he not only excels on the field, but certainly in the classroom as well.
Kecoughtan can definitely take control of this game here. Within 5 minutes of a goal usually is the most dangerous time in a game for both teams. If Kecoughtan can score another goal quickly, it could really, make for a long day.
Well, and I'm sure, and I see what you're talking about, because that's very true. Even in any sport, once you let another team score, you have a tendency to relax a little bit and get down on yourself. And as a team collectively, you're not as quick and as sharp. You could give up another goal real quick, and I see your point. And Kecoughtan is definitely attacking.
Ball went out of bounds, last touched by the Warriors, so it'll be a throw-in on the near side. Western Branch controlling. Pass on the right side and headed back upfield by the Kecoughtan Warriors. Now the Bruins press. Josh Buckley playing the ball nicely for the Warriors. His pass deflected by Dottie Hawk. And down the field come the Warriors. Out of bounds, it will be played in by Chris Blalock. And boy, this young man has had quite a season. 8 goals and 9 assists, 17 points, second on his team.
Actually, Matt Dyke is bringing the ball in, Tim. They change on you. Number 7 is throwing it in.
Okay,
They have designated people who will corner kick. Is this correct? I mean, from your coaching days, you'll have designated people for throw the ball in at certain areas on the field, and
exactly. You'll have a specific person to take a corner kick or a throw in. You might have someone who has an excellent throw. They can throw the ball almost as far as they could kick it, taking a corner kick, and that makes for a big advantage. You can play a throw in much like you could a corner kick.
Okay. Very
Christopher Geary shaken up on that last play. Pretty heavy contact with the Warrior, and a free kick awarded to the Bruins. Warriors bring it down on the right side. And the keeper makes the play. 27:40 left in the first half. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Carl Greaves coming to you from Darling Stadium. Kecoughtan on top 1-0 on a penalty kick by Mike Fullen. That goal by Mike Fullen, incidentally, was his 23rd of the season, and he far and ahead of the rest of his teammates in that department. The next closest goal scorer is Chris Blaylock. The 22 for Fullen, now 23 with that penalty kick that he scored on. This will be a corner kick handled by the Warriors. It'll be number 13, Chris Blaylock. He is a senior. Great speed, hardest shot on the team. A 3.8 GPA, going to Mary Washington College. First team Peninsula District 1992, second team all-regional.
Oh, off the post.
A post shot by the Warriors, and this will set up another corner kick for Kecoughtan.
But if you're Western Branch, you've got to be very concerned because all the play has been down here at this end of the field for the most part.
What's making this happen is Kecoughtan is taking possession of the ball and they're knocking it around. Most of the offense that's coming for Western Branch is basically on long balls, and that's not really going to work too well against a team when they can control the ball and knock it around.
Okay. That makes
Western
sense.
Branch does make penetration now into the Kecoughtan into the field.
Tim, you look out there and you look at the field, you have to take your hat off to this crew, Larry Malloy and his crew down here at Darling Stadium. They're a beautiful field out there to play on.
Larry and his group always do a great job keeping Darling Stadium in tip-top shape.
And of course, I got to mention Ricky Rawls because he'll get mad if I don't. He's one of the workers down there. But this is the same site, Tim, that they held the district track meet, which will also be the regional and the state track meet will be held. AAA will be held here at this site.
Our good friend Dennis Kozlowski is going to be heading up, or having a lot to do with that at least. That's coming up in about 10 days or so.
Well, the regional is next weekend, and then the following weekend after that is the state. So, yeah, you're talking...
Oh, unlucky here for Kecoughtan.
Good centering pass.
Oh, nice catch. I tell you, that young man, Troy Stewart, is getting a real workout down here at goal.
The passing for Kecoughtan has really been the difference in the game. You can tell that they've been working with a particular system for a long time and that they believe in the way they play.
Well, that's got a lot to do with any sport. You have to have confidence in not only in your ability, but also in the philosophy that your coach instills in you.
Exactly.
Here you see an opportunity to see that last scoring chance for the Warriors, a centering pass, and it was played nicely by the keeper from Western Branch to avoid a second goal. Back to the live action now. We've had substitutions for the Warriors. We'll get to those as time allows. Alan Lindsay keeping some fresh legs on the field.
Give me the ball.
The movement of the Kecoughtan players, I think, now is really starting to confuse the marking of Western Branch.
Well, we just got an interesting note from our director, Scotty, said they're going to have two world
soccer matches.
Soccer matches here this summer at this Darling Stadium. You know,
I've heard a little about it. It's I think it's a national under-17 tournament with 4 different countries playing, and it's going to be held June 17th and 19th here.
man, that's going to be great for the soccer fans on the peninsula and all over this area. This would be a great chance to see some good soccer from different countries.
It is, and that's what the kids need to see today to get better.
Carl, let me ask you something. There was some reference in the newspaper about the size of this field. All soccer fields are not uniformly the same size. Is that correct?
Well, I'm not to interrupt you, but I know Old Dominion is much, much bigger than this.
Old Dominion is about 120 by 75, and that's about standard for a soccer field.
Okay.
This is a bit small for a soccer field, and basically it's because of the construction with the track and all. But Kecoughtan is really accustomed to playing on a small-sized field.
Well, are not all the high schools basically used to this size of field more so than they are at the Old Dominion size?
Here on the peninsula they are.
Okay.
But if you go to Lafayette, Lafayette's field is bigger. It's pretty close to the regulation size field. And
Okay.
it's a big difference when you have to change from a large field to a small field.
Well, I'm sure it is. It's like playing on a smaller basketball court as opposed to a small one in a small gym. You make a lot of difference.
I think it probably affects the peninsula teams when they get into regional play if they don't play on a smaller field, because a team accustomed to the big field can open up the game, and you can really pick you apart when you have more space.
Well, yeah, so I was going to say your spacing is so much different here than it would be on a bigger field.
Exactly.
Okay.
The Bruins on the attack. Western Branch trailing 1-0. A shot well off the mark. And this will be a goalie kick.
And Andre Prairie, who is the goalie, has 4 shutouts this year so far, including the district final. I know when I talked to Alan early in the season, I did a program with his soccer team, and he said that was one of their weak spots was their goalie.
It has been for them, but I hope that for the goalkeeper today, that the shutout in the district finals, will give him confidence and the team confidence going into the regionals.
Shot on goal, saved by the keeper from Western Branch. A good job by the Warriors to put again pressure. A shot handled easily by the keeper. But, Carl, and again, I'm not as knowledgeable about soccer as I might be, but isn't truly the keeper is a very important figure, but isn't your defense really...
I think the keeper is the most important part of the team. You feel so much more confident when you have someone back there can make the save.
Can you play a little more open, a little more aggressive, and do things that you normally wouldn't do?
You do. You can allow your defenders to get forward to create havoc, being numbers up on the opposing team, and they can do this when they know they have someone back there. If something gets through, he can take care of it.
Okay.
See, I would have thought, to be quite honest with you, I was headed towards the thought that your keeper would be somewhat limited by the play of his defense as to how really good he is, because if your defense doesn't keep the other team from coming in, as we saw that penalty shot, the goalie is really at the mercy of the offense at many times.
He is. You should start with team defense,
sure,
right from the forwards on back, and Kecoughtan has been doing that really well this season, and they've had to. But once again, they did have a shutout in the finals, and when the defense plays well, the whole team is playing well.
Sure. Little less than
that kind of goes well with any sport, Tim.
Sure,
if you really think about it, if you got good defense, it helps the offensive part of it, whether it's in football, basketball, baseball, or whatever. But if you've got a good defense, then you can a lot of times control the game because of your defense.
And a lot of the really strong teams, they will start everything from the back. And here comes Kecoughtan on the attack now.
That was a nice move.
Oh, what a goal to score!
For the Warriors.
A nice play by number 11. That is Brett Olson, a senior forward, and he has now made it 2-0 in favor of the Warriors.
Well, he did a little stutter step out here in front that confused the defender. And I love what Alan says about Brett. He says he's a deceptive player with skills and the ability to make a difficult pass. Well, he didn't make the pass. He confused the defender and made the thing, as we watch right here on replay, right in the corner. What an excellent shot for the Warriors, Brett Olson.
It was a very good goal.
So the Warriors, with 17:55 left in the first half, have taken a huge 2-0 lead and scored twice on an excellent keeper.
Very nice
Troy Stewart.
Kecoughtan.
That was an excellent pass, wasn't it?
It was. Kecoughtan, they're knocking the ball around. They're not looking to just get the ball down the field. They're moving it around. All the players are getting involved in the game, and they're feeling very confident right now.
That was Brett Olson's 5th goal of the season. He has 5 goals to go along with 3 assists. Warriors started the year rather slowly as they were shut out in their first 2 games, losing 5-0 and 4-0 to Cox and Salem of the South Side. Then they had a 0-0 tie with York. And really, the rest of the season from that point on, they only lost twice while winning 11. So once they solve their problems, they have been just awesome. They're only lost in their last 9 games. They
And here they come
lost
again.
to Lafayette. And they're on the attack again.
Oh,
This one high over the goal. But the Warriors have played as if this field were slanted to the right. It's been
Like everything is rolling downhill.
Yeah.
You're right.
basically it's the passing that's doing everything for them. They're not looking to take people on as individuals to look good. They're looking to look good as a team, and that's the main difference right now. No one on the Western Branch team or no players don't really seem to have confidence in them being able to move the ball against Kecoughtan.
Kecoughtan, again, their aggressiveness pays off as forcing the play was Ted Walter, number 18, and he caused the ball to go out of bounds, and now the Warriors again on the attack.
Well, this young man, number 14, Tim, let me tell you a little bit about him. He is an exchange student from, I think he's from Holland, if I'm not mistaken. His name is Thomas Hansen. He's from Denmark. I'm sorry, transferred from Denmark, and he's done everything. He wanted to do everything. He played football, was on the wrestling team. He wanted to experience it all.
And Kecoughtan has another opportunity here. Oh, unlucky.
You can move over a little bit if give you a chance to see. I know we got you stuck in a corner here, and you know more than anybody else. We need to get you out of here where you can see better. That was two of the substitutes in, Tim. The one young man that scored, Olson, and that young.
Oh, we have another one here for Kecoughtan.
Great.
Off the corner kick.
A great setup. And a goal scored by Mike Fullen.
I think the goal was called back here. There must have been a push on the goalkeeper.
Okay, no goal.
Okay, so we will disallow the goal. Mike Fullen would have had his second. But the Warriors, again, pressing the issue. They have not allowed Western Branch to feel comfortable in this game, as the Kecoughtan team has really put the offensive pressure on the Bruins. Less than 15 minutes to go in the first half. 2-0, the Warriors. Mike Fullen on a penalty kick and Brett Olson on an excellent goal. Centering pass played by the keeper.
I tell you, every time the Warriors get the ball, it seems like they're down there getting a good shot on goal.
Both teams are playing with 4 backs, 4 midfielders, and 2 forwards, but the Kecoughtan midfielders are getting forward on the wings, and it's causing confusion for the marking backs for Western Branch.
Ball played nicely out of bounds by Josh Buckley of Kecoughtan to slow down the onslaught of the Western Branch Bruins. This team, Western Branch, did not have a great season like they did, and I'm not to want to come back. So I'm sure that even though they trail by 2 goals, they have the firepower to get back in this game. 11-2-3 on the season. The Bruins centering.
It was a very long throw, almost like a corner kick.
Tremendous throw, wasn't it?
Very long throw.
Wind going slightly from our left to right, although right now the flags in the corners are close to being limp. The wind not a factor. A beautiful evening here at Darling Stadium. Temperature at the beginning of the game right around 80 degrees, maybe in the upper 70s. A light breeze, a beautiful spring day. Game videotaped on the 24th of May, 1993. Kecoughtan and Western Branch, Eastern Regional quarterfinals. Warriors are unable to save the ball. It'll be Western Branch on the throw-in.
And that's number 2 making the throw-in. That's Dennis Floyd. He's a 4-year letterman for this Western Branch team. He also played for the Elizabeth River Soccer Club for 2 years. I guess that's a pretty established club over there. He's going to go to University of Virginia in the fall. I'm sorry, he goes there for soccer camp, but he'll attend Firm College in the fall.
I don't think Western Branch is accustomed to the small field. They are not able to make the short, quick passes that you need to on a small field like this. They're looking to knock it long, and that's not working today.
Now, how are the soccer sites determined? Do they rotate it between the southeastern, the beach, the eastern, and the peninsula as far as the regional play goes? Is that's why it's over here on this side this time?
I'm not quite sure. The majority of the regionals have been on this side the last few years.
Okay.
But I'm not quite sure how they work out, who's going to host.
Centering pass and a near miss by the Bruins as the goalie, Perry, was just out of position enough that had the Bruins gotten control of it, they could have scored, but they missed the goal.
Did you say who was the who attempted that kick?
It looked like Stephen Martin, number 3. He was the young man who was holding his head in dismay as he knew that he had a golden opportunity and he let it slip by.
Well, he's got a 3.86 GPA, so that's you'll find a lot of these soccer individuals that play soccer are very excellent in their studies at the same time.
Looking down some of these statistics, and we truly thank both schools for providing us with some very interesting and very valuable statistics. David Worthington has a 4.1 GPA. Mike Fullen, as we mentioned, a 4.2, a 3.8 for Chris Blaylock. 3.4 for Jamie Samuelson, 4.0 for Raphael Lister, 4.0 for Chris Stutt, 3.8 for Ted Walter, 3.4 for Chucky Moore. I mean, just some super GPAs for these young men.
Wow.
Again, a close call for Western
Hanson
Branch.
set the ball up, and I saw Alan Dawkins running in there. Alan has been with this team for a lot of people think forever. He's a senior. He's number 15 out there. He's one of the captain, and he's a very hard tackler.
And that was very good for him. He's their sweeper, and he got forward and almost created something as far as a goal on the other side of the field.
They kind of outmanned you down there because of that, or?
That's added another man to the attack, and it creates a number situation where you might have 5 versus 4.
Okay.
From the free kick, a shot on goal handled by Perry. And he waits for the area to clear. Now he'll kick it himself.
Something unusual about the Kecoughtan keeper is You never see keepers nowadays without gloves, and it's a curiosity to see someone out here like that.
Well, yeah, I kind of was wondering. I couldn't see any gloves on him, and it's like the pass catchers in football, especially NFL now, all have gloves with a little that make it a little more easy to catch the ball. But you're right, he doesn't.
And the gloves do make a difference. And I've noticed a couple of games previous that he hasn't been wearing gloves, and that's really surprising.
Western Branch on the attack. And unfortunately, a errant loose ball got on the field from the crew. By the way, I don't know their names, but these young men around the field here are spending a lot of energy getting the balls that go out of bounds. Centering pass, again, dangerous situation. The Warriors are able to again dodge a bullet. The ball goes out of bounds. It will be a goal kick. 7:20 left in the first half. 40-minute halves. Clock runs continuously. Except if there's an injury, right? That's about the only time they stop.
Well, it's the last 2 minutes of the match. I know the clock is kept on the field. Do they stop it down there?
The clock is kept on the field, the last 2 minutes especially, and the official might add on extra time for injury time.
Okay. You know, a big play was during that first, at the beginning of the game when Western Branch went down and scored, but the goal was called back. That would have given them a lot of confidence had that counted.
It would have definitely given Western Branch the momentum. Kecoughtan started off the game kind of slow and unsure, but since then they've picked it up, and also they had a goal called back. So, but who knows what would have happened.
Right.
Corner kick, and it's going to be brought upfield by the Warriors.
This is an excellent opportunity here for Chris Blaylock.
And he is a good one. We mentioned he's got 23 goals on the season. 22, rather. The Warriors will keep possession. Centering pass headed towards the net and goes out of bounds.
And that was Alan Dawkins.
Alan Dawkins again, who is from the defensive end, really.
Defensive end, getting forward to lend help to the attack. And that's the second time he's been in a position to almost come up with the goal.
Is that an unusual thing, or do you find that other teams do that also?
On the good teams, you will find that the defenders don't necessarily have to stay back and play defense. They will get forward to create havoc by... They have to be marked when they get forward, and usually teams don't pick them up in time to mark them, and that's what's been happening when Al Dawkins gets forward.
Okay.
Another shot on goal handled by Stewart. And the big left-footed kicker gets it all the way to center field.
Technically, here he goes forward again. Technically, when Dawkins gets forward, one of the Western Branch forwards should track back to pick him up, but that's not happening.
Okay. Are they just not picking it up, you think, or that's just...
I don't think they're picking it up.
Okay.
The Warriors on the season have 71 goals, an average of 4.4 per game, and they've averaged 13 shots per game, while the opposition has scored only 23 goals, a 1.4 per game average, and 53 shots, or 3.2 per game. So the Warriors have truly been outstanding in the scoring department. As I mentioned, only at the beginning of the season when they gave up a total of 9 goals in the first 3 games, but after that their defense has just been tremendous. The season capped by a 13-0 rout of your old school, Carl, over at Ferguson.
I'm very impressed with the way that the Warriors pass that ball, and I think the key to this is what you've been talking about, the short passes, not long passes, but the short.
It's the short passes.
And they work like a give and go all the way down. And
it is. And it's the discipline behind the team. You have to make the run in order to get the ball. You have to feel like if you make the run, I'm going to get the ball. And they have confidence in one another. So when Kecoughtan is in possession, everybody's moving because they feel like they will get the ball.
They will be rewarded for their hustle.
That's exactly right.
This is Kecoughtan on the attack. Less than 3 minutes remaining in the first half. If you joined us late, the Warriors lead 2-0. A penalty kick by Mike Fullen. And Brett Olson had scored also at the 18-15 mark of the first half. And that's how we've got our 2-0 score for the tournament champion, Kecoughtan Warriors, looking to advance.
I can see by your body language here, you can see things developing.
I can see the movement of the players. He had the play down the wing, and also on the other side of the field, there were also Kecoughtan players making the run on the opposite side of the field. Unmarked.
Okay. And when you say unmarked, that means that no defender has picked them up.
No, they followed the ball. They were ball watching is the term you use when they're paying attention to the ball as opposed to watching the players that they're supposed to pay attention to.
Okay.
An infraction called. Carl, what was the infraction that they just...
That was just a foul on the play.
Could have been a push or...
Yeah, just physical play, and maybe went one way.
We're less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Lights have been turned on here at Darling. You see some of the crowd in attendance. Perfect night to come out.
Kecoughtan has really controlled the ball in the midfield, and that's the most important part. When you can gain control of the ball in the midfield, it makes everything else happen.
Again, excellent passing by the Warriors.
Well, they just look so sharp, Tim. They know where everybody is. They know where everybody should be, and those people are, as like Carl was saying, these people are being rewarded for the hustle and being in the right place where the pass should be made to.
A few moments ago, the ball was played square. One of the Kecoughtan players, he didn't even look. He just knocked it square, and there was a player coming.
Well, now that's confidence.
Well, it's teamwork. You know, you get to this point, and that's how you are the tournament champion, because you do have that discipline and that kind of organization to your attack. The Warriors, again, keeping the pressure on.
Keep in, cut, keeper, Mike Bullet. Hand up, just behind you, hand up in. Come on, Steve.
You can hear some of the action from our sideline camera and microphone.
And here goes Dawkins attacking again. And the
Western
wing.
Branch looks, if you'll pardon the expression, they look to be on their heels. They are playing defense almost exclusively. They're kind of waiting for Kecoughtan to do something.
It's the pass, and the ball is being moved as opposed to one person dribbling the ball, so it's quicker, and that's causing all kinds of confusion for Western Branch. And they have just about every player back trying to prevent this from happening.
Centering pass is over the goal. So we should be inside of a minute now to go in the half.
Right now, I don't think Western Branch is aware of who they should be marking on the field. They're just picking up whoever they see has the ball.
Well, now the coach during the halftime will probably talk to them about that, I would think, as we come to the end of the first half, Tim.
And we will take a break here at halftime. The score in our quarterfinal Group AAA Eastern Regional game between the Kecoughtan Warriors and the Western Branch Bruins, 2-0 in favor of Kecoughtan. We'll return to Darling Stadium with the second half of action after a brief timeout.
Surprise.
There you see the score at halftime. The Kecoughtan Warriors 2-0 over Western Branch. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Carl Greaves coming to you from Darling Stadium. In the first half, if you missed it, the Warriors were benefited greatly by a hand infraction inside. What was the definition of the area, Carl?
Inside the 18-yard box.
Okay. And for that, they were awarded a penalty shot. And Mike Fullen made no mistake on the penalty shot, making it 1-0. And then Brett Olson added the second goal at 18:15 of the first half on a very fine shot from the right side of goal. And the Warriors lead 2-0, and they truly have carried the play throughout the entire first half.
Definitely so. And what we just saw was Kecoughtan taking shots from the outside. Previously, in the first half, they tried to get in closer on goal than they needed to. Right now, Western Branch, they played defense in the first half, and it looks like they're going to do the same thing, basically because everyone was behind the ball then. Kecoughtan needs to shoot from the outside.
What would you have done, Carl, to instruct your team if you were the Richard Bright, the coach over at Western Branch? How would you have handled your halftime talk with them?
I would have tried to get them to get away from the long ball, maybe get back and play defense like they are now, play tough defense, just look to make the short passes and to get the ball wide and down the wings.
Well, that's the shot that time on goal was by Jamie Samuelson for the Warriors, and it was a little wide, and the goalkeeper stopped it. And again, the Bruins, I want to say, the Warriors are right back on the attack.
I think an excellent indication of how this has been going is when Western Branch is on offense, they'll have 3 or 4 players in the defensive zone for Kecoughtan. The other way, when Warriors are on attack, they have 8 or 9 players, it seems.
Kecoughtan is really moving, and that's been the key to this game. They're not just standing around and watching. The players are moving. They're getting forward together as a team.
They're playing more team-oriented rather than a one-on-one type of thing, is what you're saying.
That's the big difference.
Okay.
Western Branch, when they have the ball, it's the long ball, or one player might get a quick touch and he'll look to take somebody on, and that's not going to work here today. It hasn't worked so far. This is going to be a goal kick.
Now, I noticed the Kecoughtan uses a different player rather than the goalie to they kick the ball, put it in play.
I feel they think that whoever takes the kick, they probably have someone designed to take the kick, that he's probably going to do a better job of advancing the ball as opposed to the keeper.
Okay. And that was David Worthington, number 9, who was kicked the ball that time instead of the goalkeeper. This time the keeper's going to do it.
Okay, this is a punt for him. When he maintains possession of the ball, he can take a punt. Okay.
And that's probably why they don't have him punt very often. Not a very effective kick. It went out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in for Western Branch. The Bruins, the Southeastern District champion, as well as the tournament champion, having a tough go of it this afternoon against the Warriors.
But I can see what Carl is talking about. That's just a long kick. It doesn't look like they're trying to play a team-oriented attack. More than whoever gets a chance takes the shot at it.
Yes, and I think Kecoughtan is prepared for this. They realize that, especially now in the second half, they do realize that they're not going to be able to build anything up, meaning Western Branch will not be able to build anything up against them other than the long ball.
The Warriors
this is where he
on
needs
the
to
attack.
take the shot. Kecoughtan, they're trying to get the ball in close to the goal, and they don't really need to. They have players who can shoot from the outside, like now. Brilliant! Excellent save.
That was Hanson,
That's
number 14.
That was a
the
good
young
play
man.
on both sides, and that's what Kecoughtan needs to do. They need to hit the ball from the
Well,
outside.
they went from inside out. That time they were close. It was kind of congested, so they went back outside, and Thomas Hanson had a good shot, but it was a great job by the goalkeeper,
That was a
Troy
very
Stewart.
good save. Usually it's very difficult for a keeper to see anything when there's a lot of players in front of the goal like that.
Yeah,
that
he kind of gets screened out of not
That's
only the ball, but even being able to see what direction the ball was going.
That's it. That's why Kecoughtan, when they have all those players getting behind the ball on the Western Branch side, they need to shoot through that, because it causes confusion for the keeper.
I guess you would equate it to a screen shot.
Yeah.
They do that in hockey a lot to try and get a lot of interference in front of the goalie.
Number 20 for Kecoughtan playing the ball out. He's had a very good game today.
That is Josh Buckley. He is just a junior, and he is touted as being his team's most consistent player.
I was just about to say that about him. He has been very consistent today. He hasn't done very much wrong at all, if he has done anything wrong.
And we've got a player down for the Warriors, a tough tackle in the center of the field area. That's Mike Fullen, and he is slow to get up. He appears to be okay. Shake it up momentarily.
And there he is on the ball. Good.
And again, the Warriors keep
Again, here's
possession.
the shot. Just wide.
And that was number 12 by the Warriors. I'll pick up his number name with that.
It's Jamie Samuelson.
Oh, there he is, right in the middle. Lord, I couldn't see.
33 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Here you saw here's the excellent opportunity. The Warriors will center the pass, and then the shot on goal, and a great save by Troy Stewart.
And you can see how fast those soccer players are.
That's right. Warriors with control.
And there's the movement.
Again, your observation very astute, I think, Carl, that Western Branch is just seemingly happy to get it out of the area and try and go with the long pass.
Just get it out of their end of the field.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be able to put anything together today. With Kecoughtan, they've had a tough season as far as games have been closer this year than they have been in the past, and I think that should help them as they go on in this tournament. Kecoughtan with possession, and they look to get it outside.
Again, excellent passing by the Warriors. This one headed out by Western Branch.
Alan Dawkins is getting forward once again, and there's nobody on him.
Yeah, I see
and the
that.
ball goes in his direction. This is a very good run by Chris Blaylock and a good shot on goal.
He dribbles so well.
He does.
Has great control.
He's first a very good athlete, and he has very good soccer skills. He's kind of a very tough player to control when he's on the field because of his athletic ability and what he can do with the ball.
Well, Alan says look for him to beat people and then pass the ball. He's got a 3.8 GPA. He's going to Mary Washington College. I think you had mentioned that, Tim, but he's also was first team Peninsula District in 92 and second team All Region in 92.
Right now, Western Branch is just waiting for something to happen, waiting for the Kecoughtan players to make the move.
And it looks like they're just kicking the ball to get it out of bounds so that they can set up their defense rather than try to get it and let's attack.
They can feel the pressure.
The pressure is on.
Get a booming kick from the keeper. Stewart with a great leg, and we got another infraction.
Well, that time I used the arm to stop the ball rather than the chest.
This has been a very clean game today. The referee hasn't had to make a whole lot of calls.
Yeah, I've noticed it's been relatively free of any.
It has been. It has been. On both sides, it's been very clean.
This will give a corner kick to the Warriors. Less than 30 minutes to go in the second half.
Well, this Brett Olson, number 11, was over there. I don't know if he's still the one that's going to kick it in.
Yes, it's Brett Olson.
Okay.
Centered and headed away by Western Branch. The Warriors unable to keep the ball in bounds.
Kecoughtan seems to be much quicker than the Western Branch team.
Now, that was some sort of an infraction.
Little contact by the Warriors. I'm sure the referee ruled that the Warriors impeded the progress of the Western Branch player unfairly.
It was not incidental contact, is what you're telling me, huh?
I guess not.
Alan Dawkins with the header out. Played back in by Western Branch.
So the Bruins really not able to get much of an attack going since early in the game. And your point, Bob, a very valid one earlier. The Bruins did score, and that goal was disallowed on an infraction. And it seems like ever since then it's been all Kecoughtan.
Yeah. Brett Olson goes out. I'm trying to see who came in for it. That's number 3. That's Mike Fullen came in.
Matt Dyke also went off for a substitution. I believe Chris Stutt just came in, number 20.
Oh, a chance in front of the goal, and
there it is.
we have it.
And that was that number 3 again.
That's
Mike Fullen,
his second goal of the game.
And I'm kind of keeping my eye on Carl over here, and he said, well, there it is. Before it was in, he could see it opened up.
Kecoughtan seems to be quicker at reacting than Western Branch. They beat Western Branch to the ball just about on every 50-50 ball. When the ball's in the air.
Here's your replay. A good high centering pass.
And that was flicked on by number 15, Alan Dawkins, on the goal.
Right, okay, and he set him up perfect.
He's been confusing the Western Branch team by getting forward just about all game long. They haven't found him when he's gotten forward.
So Fulham has 2 goals in the game, and certainly an assist will be awarded on that play to Dawkins, as he set him up nicely with the header. And the Warriors now with a commanding 3-0 lead. And looking for more.
And here we see the speed of Kecoughtan again.
That was number 18 that time for the Warriors. That's Ted Walter. He's got a 3.8 GPA, Tim.
And he is considered to be a very good one-on-one player. Three nothing in favor of Kecoughtan.
And the build-up begins again. Kecoughtan getting forward. Pass off a little. But once again, they win the loose ball. Just about every time they get to the ball before Western Branch does.
Well, and they've got some probably more speed, or they're reacting quicker because of the confidence they've got too.
Yes, and I think that all developed because of the passing. They haven't had to run as much as Western Branch. And after playing defense for as long as Western Branch has, you start to become more fatigued than you do when you're playing offense.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. And we talk about that in football all the time, that the defense has been out on the field a long time, not thinking, so has the offense been, but it's harder to stop because you don't know what's happening, and you have to react to other people. And the same thing here. Western Branch has to react to what the Warriors are doing.
That's it.
And they're not reacting to them at all very well.
And what's happening with Western Branch is they have so many players back playing defense. When they do have an opportunity to get forward, they're just too deep in the field to get forward in numbers.
Centering pass.
Right now, Western Branch, they have no midfield. Kecoughtan, even the defenders are winning the ball in the middle of the field.
That was Mike Gamble, a junior midback. Has great speed and will also play marking back today. So Alan Lindsay's squad has been dominant, leading 2-0 at halftime and adding a third goal here. Mike Fullen's second of the ball game. Of the soccer match, I should say, not ball game.
I was going to correct you.
Listen to what I'm saying.
All right.
It's a problem. You do basketball, you do football, you do softball, you do baseball, all the ball games.
Well, there is a ball in this sport, so but it's like tennis or golf. It's not a ball game.
As you see the play develop for Kecoughtan, the ball movement has been very, very good. 3-4 different players touching the ball.
Excellent pass.
Unlucky here.
And you could see that the Warrior that was coming in that time, that was number 3, it looked like David Worthington, was just a half a step late on that pass, or he could have been in a great position for a kick on goal.
That was Worthington with the ball a moment ago.
Worthington has done a very good job playing at the back for Kecoughtan. Nothing has gotten by him today.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Mike Fullen that was down here who almost got there. Yeah, I'm getting my people mixed up.
So a good look at the bench and head coach Alan Lindsay. Kecoughtan a moment ago. And you see once again a good centering pass, but no one there from Western Branch. A single player down on the left wing, and that's all there was.
Yeah, they just don't have the numbers when they attack.
They don't. And
Like Kecoughtan does.
I think right now it's the physicalness, it's the fatigue that they have. They don't seem to be able to get forward. After the ball's played, you can see the players are walking. All of the Western Branch players, they're walking, and Kecoughtan, they're moving. The conditioning is really starting to tell. Look at the Western Branch. They're all back behind the ball.
And they're just trying to kick it and clear it out is basically what they're trying to do.
All the offense is coming from trying to clear the ball out of the defense.
Again, an opportunity for the Warriors off the mark.
Number 13, Chris Blaylock with the shot.
You know these young men better than I do.
I've seen some of them around playing. They've worked hard off season, to get into the high school season. They always stay together, to play as a team. Too much touching on the ball by one person.
Well, he has no one to go to is the problem.
And here we go. And this is what Kecoughtan wants the ball down the wing. It's a good play by the Western Branch defender to get it out of bounds.
Well, that gives his team a chance to get down and regroup, so to speak, a little bit.
20 minutes remaining in the second half. It's been all Kecoughtan since early in the soccer match.
Alan Dawkins on the ball from his defensive position.
Header off the mark, played by Stewart. You see the technique displayed by the Kecoughtan team is extremely good. They really dribble the ball well, they pass well, they seem to be in very much control of things.
Well, that was Ted Walden, number 18, to try to hit her.
They haven't spent a whole lot of time with one person being on the ball. It's been a team effort. They have shown the movement that they need when they needed it to advance the ball, or even on defense, tracking back to picking up players who might be getting forward in an offensive position and could be dangerous. They haven't watched the ball like Western Branch has. When Kecoughtan has the ball, just about everyone on the Western Branch team is watching what's happening with the ball, and Kecoughtan, their players are filling lanes and making runs forward.
Rather than playing, they're watching the ball rather than playing the defense.
Right, rather than picking up the players running through, they're not doing that, and that's causing the majority of the problems. That's a breakdown with the midfield. The midfield hasn't been there for them. In soccer, you control the midfield and you have the game.
Alan Lindsay making 4 substitutions. We'll pick them up as best we can. I noticed.
And here's a goal.
And a good shot, header.
Wow, who was that? Number 11.
Just came in the match.
That's the second one by Brett.
Red Olson with his second.
And that was a great team goal. Ball went wide down the wing. Olson and number 12 made the run through the middle, near post. You had players at the far post, and the ball came across.
Here's your replay. You get a chance to see this, a centering pass and the header from Olson.
As we get it down the wing, and here's the run. One going near post, and you see the far post run by number 12. Kecoughtan making all the right moves, getting forward.
Well, so Samuelson was there in case it was a little wide.
Exactly. You work on these things in practice. You have someone going near post, you have someone going far post. The ball might be flicked on by the near post run to the back post. There's no one picking up at the back post, so he was wide open in the event that it was flicked on.
Right.
So the Warriors, looking to advance to the semifinals, lead 4-0 now, as they are looking for their 4th win in a row and their 9th in their last 10. Their only loss to the Lafayette Rams during the regular season. They avenged that loss. I say their only recent loss, I should say. But they have played like the champions that they are this afternoon. controlled the tempo of this match from almost the very beginning. And they are again on the attack. Chucky Moore, number 21, doing a fine job of moving the ball forward. He, again, just a junior. A lot of these young men will be returning for Alan Lindsay's team.
And he's got a pretty decent JV team, if I can remember correctly. Talking to him, his JV team has done right well this year. We have one of the players for the Bruins was shaken up on that last play. Turn around, I'll get his number, and
seniors on this squad.
That is number 2. That's Dennis Floyd,
include
4-year letterman.
Worthington and Fullen, Dawkins, Blaylock, all of them seniors.
And here, just wide.
That was so close to being another goal. I could see that one develop. That was by number 7, Matt Dyke, was the young man that just went over the top of the net. If we've got that in replay or not, but that was...
and basically that came from the confusion caused by the corner kick, by the free kick. Everyone watched what happened on the free kick, and he was able to get open on the back of the defense.
This is Olsen again, teaming up with Dyke.
Although Kecoughtan has scored 4 goals today, and it's easy to notice the attack, but they've played very well on defense.
And let's give some credit too to Western Branch. They certainly have had an excellent season. 11 wins, just 2 losses and 3 ties. But whether it was the field or just a slow start this afternoon, the Warriors really have controlled the tempo of this game and really took the play away from the Bruins.
Well, I think Carl said it best, that the Bruins are not playing as a team as well as the Warriors are. The Warriors are playing more of, I know where the other guy's going to play. They do a lot of pass and they get everybody involved in the play, where the Bruins don't seem to be doing that.
Of course, the defense of Kecoughtan has a lot to do with that.
It has.
Yeah,
also, just watching it, if you watch the way Kecoughtan, how they handle the ball, I think they're fundamentally better, as far as skill than the Western Branch team.
That's what I was referring to earlier. The techniques
Yes.
seem to be much more refined with Kecoughtan.
Brent, make it right, Brent.
Down to 13 minutes and 30 seconds in the match. Warriors with a comfortable 4-0 lead. Pair of goals from Mike Fullen and Brett Olsen.
And another opportunity in front of the net.
Centering
And the far
pass.
post run is there, and he has it.
Just a little high, right off the corner. But what an excellent job. They set that up so well.
They know where they're supposed to be on the field. They expect when they make the run or when they position themselves that the ball should come to a certain position.
Get a chance to see on replay here the almost goal just a moment ago.
Okay, it comes across, and then the back post, number 12, just misses off of the post.
That was Jamie Samuelson who just missed. Headed for Long Island University.
It's pushed in the back, so the ball will belong to Kecoughtan.
Some of the upcoming sporting events here on Channel 5, at least one that is tentatively scheduled for Memorial Day. We hope to be at Old Dominion University for the game between the Kecoughtan Warriors baseball team and an opponent in the Eastern Regionals.
That's the undefeated Warriors.
That's right. Against the district and tournament champion, undefeated Warriors, as they will have a game at 11 a.m. Memorial Day at ODU. So make every opportunity that you can to get out and support these fine high school athletes, and certainly get out there and support this Kecoughtan Warrior soccer team.
Well, if they win tonight, they will play Wednesday night again.
An opponent in sight to be determined, I understand.
Yeah.
Check the Daily Press. Jennifer Williams will let you know. She'll have it in her column. Again, the Warriors on the attack, and a infraction.
Now, what will happen here?
I think we're looking at another penalty kick.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks like everyone's clearing from the zone.
With the Kecoughtan player on the ball being brought down in the box, that creates another chance for a one-on-one, you say. Shooter versus the keeper.
Okay. And this will be number 11 for
Here's
the
your
Warriors.
replay. Maybe we can pick up what happened. There you saw tackled from behind rather roughly.
Yeah, and usually a tackle from behind like that will result in a red card, player being sent off.
Well, this is Brett Olson. A chance for his third one.
And a good save.
Nice play.
Roy Stewart with an excellent save.
And also shouldn't be disappointed with that. He hit it where he should have hit it. He put it in the corner. The keeper did a good job of just getting to the ball. He just chose the right direction, and
As
he
you
made
said,
it.
you know, it's a pot luck thing. If
It is.
he's going to dive, the goalie has already made his mind up where he's going.
He did, and it was a very well taken penalty. He was just unlucky. The goalkeeper made a very good save.
The Warriors
There's
again
another
on the
opportunity.
attack. And Western Branch simply clears it off the field. So Kecoughtan again will stay on the attack with less than 10 minutes to go in the match.
Well, I wish we would have been keeping the statistic of how many kicks on goal each team has, but the Warriors have got to have 5 or 6 to 1, if not more than that. It's just
Truly,
I don't really recall a shot on goal, actually on goal for Western Branch in this half.
that's what I'm certainly in this half, and the only one I can even attest to for certain is the goal that was disallowed.
we have a new goalie coming in for the that's Tom McPhail, who is coming in for the Western Branch. And that young man, Troy Stewart, deserves a big hand. He's been scored on, but he's made some tremendous saves also.
Truly through no fault of his, no lack of effort.
Well,
They're
this young man...
They're very lucky to have had him today.
Yeah, really. Tom McPhail has a 3.33 GPA, Tim, and he is SCA and senior class secretary, so he's real active over there at Western Branch.
Plans to attend Virginia Tech. So Kecoughtan, with this victory, will advance to the semifinals. Opponent, as we mentioned, to be determined, as will Lafayette. Lafayette, a 3-0 victor over Great Bridge. And there's a shot on goal. We were wondering if we'd see one, Carl. There was one, a rather easy one, I might add.
And that came from probably 40 yards out.
Plenty of time for Andre Perry as he is going for his second consecutive shutout.
And here we have the push forward by Kecoughtan. Ball's played down the wing. And here we have a near post and a far post run being made. And the ball should be coming. Oh, here we have another foul in the box. But this one's not going to be called today. Western Branch were very lucky then. Very lucky.
The Warriors have shut out, if this game ends in a shutout, 8 of their last 9 opponents. Excuse me, 7 of the last 8 opponents. And the
Well,
only
and the one that they didn't was the Lafayette team, wasn't it?
Yep.
Game will restart on a throw-in.
Yellow card being given to Alan Lindsay. Must have been.
He's probably upset on that call that you thought was going to be a penalty down there.
I'm sure he was. And usually this late in the game, you're not going to get the call unless it's
blatant like
clear.
that.
Very, yes, exactly.
A little bit of frustration showing through on the Western Branch players here, I'm sure. It's you're used to being a victor 11 out of 13 times. It's a little difficult to take it when you're losing 4-0.
Kecoughtan still moving the ball around.
And I'm sure when it gets down to this point, you got about 5 minutes left in the game that your Western Branch, you hope this is a real fast 5 minutes.
I think we might have trouble. There's another penalty.
So the Warriors will get another penalty kick here?
Yes.
I get, like I said, the frustration level has to be really maxed out for the Bruins right now.
It does, especially after you've had a good season and you're not playing well. You've been taken completely out of your game, and you're down 4-0.
Here's the replay. If we can pick up the infraction there, you saw the trip, a rather easy infraction to call, and a penalty shot and a goal.
That's by Ted Walder. The young man had just made that, Tim, and of course with the new goalie in there, he's not as quick.
So with 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, Ted Walter makes it a 5-0 score. The Warriors still pressing on defense. Just haven't really seen any weaknesses on the part of the Warriors this afternoon.
I have not seen any, and Allen said that their main weakness is their goalkeeper, and their defense has just not allowed Western Branch to make many shots on goal. So.
They haven't. The defense has been very, very good. Not just in the back, but all over the field. And when Kecoughtan has gotten the ball, they've possessed the ball and they've looked to get it down the wings. And they've gotten, I think, 2, maybe all 3 of the penalties have come from the ball going wide and the player on the outside getting into the box with it.
Truly a great example of the best defense is a good offense.
That's a good point.
2.5 minutes remain in the match, and
Kecoughtan now has a direct free kick from about.
Okay, now direct free kick is a little different than that. They can put some players in front of the ball.
Yes, they can, and this can go directly into the goal, and I think they'll probably end up trying to, score from here. It's about 25 yards.
But I noticed that Kecoughtan puts a couple players up there too.
Yeah, it blinds the goalkeeper. Actually, something happened here. What? I'm not sure.
It's like a false start.
Okay.
Try it again.
Just to wait for the whistle.
We're at the 2-minute mark.
I think he should test the goalkeeper with a shot now. does. Unlucky.
Back up. Out.
Of course, now the Warriors will want to guard against losing that shutout. The way they've played, there's little doubt that that will remain intact here. We're down less than 2 minutes to go. The keeper for Kecoughtan, Andre Perry, has been rarely tested this afternoon. Only one got by him, and that one was disallowed.
They've played well tonight. They've knocked the ball around. They've looked for the open man. They haven't been selfish, and that's been the main thing. And they've worked for one another. They've hustled.
Well, and they started off a little slow, but once they picked up their passing game, and you could just see that the momentum went to their side, and there's just no way they were going to let that momentum leave them. They just continually do what they are good at doing, and that's playing team ball, pass the ball back and forth, and attacking constantly.
That's it, and it's a good way to be playing now, being that they're in the playoffs. The teams that can control the ball. Oh, unlucky! What a hit! That was a great shot.
And it hit two of the posts.
That was Olsen again, and that was a brilliant shot.
Right here, Josh.
And there is your match. Time has expired, and the Warriors will advance to the semifinals as they handily defeat Western Branch, the Southeastern District Tournament and District Champion, 5-0. 2 goals in the first half, one by Fullen, one by Olsen. Then Fullen and Olsen again to make it 4-0, and then Ted Walter finished the scoring with 4:04 to go to make the final score 5-0. Carl Greaves, we certainly want to thank you for joining us. It was our pleasure to have you with us, and I know you've added a lot of insight to the game.
Well, I echo
enjoyed it.
that. That's, you and I will be the first to admit that this is not our most knowledgeable sport, and any help that we can get from the outside and somebody as knowledgeable as Carl, we sure do appreciate him.
Thank you.
Okay, that's going to do it. The final score again, the Kecoughtan Warriors win their quarterfinal Group AAA Eastern Regional match 5-0 over the Western Branch Bruins. For Bob Hintz and Carl Greaves, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.